Like it's always good whenever you get a chance to, put your skills on display in front of the whole country. Like I think when you're a kid, you always look up, to Monday Night Football as, as a game to watch, and that's something that you want to take part of.
Some fans around the country are saying 2-0. Are these guys for real? Here's an early season chance to show them. What are you going to do?
I mean, to be honest, like, we look at every game as being the same, right? Like, yeah, like we're 2-0, but there's only like a handful of teams that are. But that doesn't mean anything if we don't go out there and put our best effort forward, this week. Like, I think maybe it was 2018. We started off 2-0, and we saw how that season ended. So, like, we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. We got to be where we're at right now, and obviously we have a big challenge in front of us. We just got to take care of business.
Is this really a true measuring stick for you? Give you an indication of where you guys are at because it's such a good quality team?
I mean, I guess it just depends on like what you're asking, right? Like, obviously, like they're a really good team. They had a really good year last year, and they're starting off hot. But it's only a measuring stick if we allow it to be, right? Like whatever we do when we go out there, if we allow this one game to define our season, I think we're going to be wrong, whether like we win or lose. But I think we got to go out there and just give it our best, right? Put our best foot forward. I think if we're continuing to improve on our communication, on our execution, I think that we're like where we're at as we get further into the season.
Has this offense come together quicker than maybe you thought it would? Because, you got a new quarterback, obviously new system, and with Dave Canales here and Tristan moving to left tackle.
I don't know if it's been quicker than I expected it to. Like, obviously, we have a ton of guys that are really smart and really care about ball. So I think that helps. But I still think there's a lot of meat left on the bone. I think there's a lot of things that we can do a lot better. And those are things that we're constantly working on, Baker's still getting more comfortable. We're getting more comfortable as receivers with the things that he likes. The offensive line, they've only had 2 games together as a unit. So, we're all like still working to gel. And again, like I think we're pulling the rope in the right direction right now.
What's the most challenging thing about facing a Philadelphia secondary?
Man, I mean, they got a lot of playmakers, right? Like they got 2 really good corners, that have been doing it like at a high level for a long time. They got some great safeties back there, some versatile players. Obviously, like their defensive line, is what they kind of hang their hat on. But it's going to be a challenge for us. But we're open to it. We're up to accepting the challenge, and they got to deal with us as well. We got great players on the offensive line. We got great skill players. We got a great scheme. I think it's going to be a good matchup.
Baker says everything he hasn't been perfect, obviously, but the timing seems to be really down between you and him and Mike and him.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's just a testament to the work that we put in thus far. But I also think it's a credit to all of us for being kind of like savvy, smart players. Right? We have high football IQ players, and I think that helps kind of with the offense gelling. It helps with whenever something is off, we kind of see it the same way, and we can talk about it, and no one's really blowing up on it on each other. So I think it helps that we're everyone's being level-headed, and we all understand what we're in it for.
Chris, these are 2 defenses that are stopping the run so far this season. Is this kind of game that could potentially get wide open, just passes everywhere?
Yeah, I mean, I think it could go any number of ways, right? Like, could be a defensive, a defensive show, but also could be, a shootout. I think that I think both teams are very capable of playing and winning in whatever type of game that it ends up being. But like I said, man, it's tough to kind of predict it because you never really know how things will go. But I think that if we go out there and we're executing at a high level, I think we're a tough team to beat.
What have you learned the most from Baker these past 2 games that you've been playing with?
I mean, I feel like the biggest thing that I've learned really is something that I kind of knew from afar, and he's a fiery competitor, and I think you guys have seen it a couple of times where a player will look like it's dead, looks like he's sacked, a guy's about to rip his head off, and he somehow shakes out of it, gets about 4 or 5 yards, and goes from a negative to a positive play, and we're headed to chains. Those types of plays are going to help us as the season progresses. But throughout the game, he's even keel. He's never too high, he's never too low. I think those are things that you kind of look for in a quarterback.
What's been his best trash talk so far?
I think the one versus Minnesota, where it was Stephon, he told me, I think he might have said, get your weight up or something like that. I think I was right there and I heard, I'm like, that's funny. That's funny. It's very funny seeing a quarterback do that.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.